Road trips, the #1 worst fear of gamers around the globe. We can't go to Maine. I mean, how am I gonna fit my Wii and this flat screen TV inside of the car so that I can play some Mario Kart with my friends, Dad? Thankfully, we have handhelds. Handhelds, or handheld game consoles as the true gamers call them, are like normal video game consoles, but worse. And also But I mean, I'll take anything over playing I Spy with my family in the car for the 50th time. I mean, come on, Mom. For the last time, it is not a stop sign. I mean, with handhelds, you can play anywhere. You can play at the grocery store. You can play while you're getting your hair cut. You can play during history. You can play during history class instead of focusing. Yeah, that's right, Miss Braxton. I'm a bad boy. And your teacher probably takes it from you, and then you can't play video games for a week because your mom's the worst. Can't believe she's ground me for that. For the first 20 years of their existence, Nintendo was basically crowned big boy of the handheld market, until Sony came along with PSP, or the PlayStation Portable. The PSP was announced during E3 of 2003 as a portable console meant to not only compete with the Nintendo DS, but also Apple's iPod to be an all-in-one portable device. PSP came bundled with a music player, video player, image viewer, comic viewer, radio, online store. It can also play games. At release, it received positive reviews for looking sleek and cool, so you look like a big baby for playing it like you did with the Game Boy Advance. I mean, I can pull this out wherever I go and you'll have no idea what I'm doing. I could be listening to some Backstreet Boys. I could be reading War and Peace.
Yeah, and pause.
I could be listening to some Backstreet Boys.
Rest her hand.
While reading a PDF of
turn
War
to
and
her
Peace.
eldest
I could be
dog.
watching low quality MP4 of Sky High or Titanic. I could be on the web browser checking my Blackboard to make sure there's no homework I have to do. You know, maybe I'm playing some GTA Vice City stories. You don't know. Oh, yeah. Okay, I'm probably playing some Vice City stories. PSP feels amazing to hold, and its graphics that look great compared to other portable consoles. It uses a menu similar to the PS3 menu that released 2 years later, and personally, I prefer this menu and the PS3 menu compared to the PS4 menu, which is an unorganized mess of different icons. You can also access the PlayStation Store online, which lets you update and download games, lets you play old PS1 games, or even newer mobile games like Angry Birds. And the PSP also didn't support a lot of internet security types. So if you're one of the unlucky people like me who can't access the internet on your PSP, you can still download games to your PSP from the PlayStation Store on the PS3. This is one of the earliest portable online game stores that I know of, and it predated the Apple App Store by 2 years. The PSP also let you set custom image backgrounds. It also had lots of different settings for the menu, which I think even surpassed Nintendo's 3DS. The PSP also features remote play, which lets you control your PS3 wirelessly from your PSP, which is basically the same thing as the Wii Gamepad, NVIDIA Shield,
approximately 10 hours later.
Chrome Remote Desktop, the PS Vita version, PlayStation Remote. But it's time to get to the important part of every portable console, the games. The PlayStation Portable's games were The PSP was targeted towards the T for teens and the AO for adults, occasionally demographic, who were too old for the baby DS game. It consisted of a much more mature game library, including God of War, GTA, Persona, Angry Birds. The PSP let you listen to your own music and videos by letting you plug it into your computer and modify all of the files on the console. I repeat, all of the files on the console. If you're wondering why the PS3 was so hard to emulate and was so much more secure than the PS2, PS1, and PlayStation Portable, it was because the PSP got cracked faster than the average iPhone. It literally takes 30 seconds for you to download a custom firmware on your PC and then download ROMs from an online site. Yeah, the PSP was filled to the brim with unofficial emulators, ranging from the Atari to the PS1, all of which still run better than my brand new iPhone can. In my opinion, the emulators were a major selling point of the console, because being able to play old Nintendo and Sega games can't really be found on any other portable device, except the Soja game. There's also tons of unofficial games, fan games, homebrew, that you can download online and easily play on your PSP. Some of which include Nazi Zombies Portable, a port of Call of Duty Zombies, Portal, a port of Portal, Left 4 Quake, a port of Left 4 Dead, CS PSP, a Counter-Strike port, Halo PSP, a Halo port, and a Minecraft PSP. I can talk for hours and hours and hours about how many games you can get on the PSP, but we gotta finish talking about the good, and we gotta start talking about the bad and the ugly. First of all, whichever one-thumb developer of the PSP who thought it would be a good idea to only include one nub on the console on the left side, I want to hurt you. But I mean, at least we can freely walk in whatever direction we want, so I mean, I guess that makes up for it. See, stuff like this is why Nintendo is so much better at designing portable consoles. Nintendo would never do something like this. Is this a suicide hotline? The PSP also had so much motion blur, it puts Defiance to shame. I mean, like, Jesus Christ, Sony, I'm just trying to turn right, not have a stroke. I'm not anyone, slow down. With the lack of a right nub and the terrible motion blur, trying to look around in a 3D game not only feels horrible, but also looks horrible. It's especially bad in high-octane racing games like Grand Theft Auto, where when you're driving really fast, it looks like your boy Victor Lance has had one too many Capri Suns, if you know what I mean, and is also morbidly drunk. Don't forget that one of the major selling points of the PlayStation Portable was the fact that you would be able to mirror and play your PlayStation 3 games wirelessly, but it loses half the support for its games when it loses the nub. The PSP uses UMD. A UMD is like a disc inside of a cartridge. The reason Nintendo doesn't use UMDs in their portable consoles, including the Switch, is because they're loud. Whenever I'm trying to play a game on the PSP without headphones, I can't hear anything, because all I can hear are the hellish screams coming out of the UMD reader. Also, all this hardware on the PSP was pretty costly. And what kind of kid would go to Best Buy with his mom and say, oh yeah, I'd like that tiny, worse, portable PlayStation console instead of the PlayStation 2, which is the same price, or the PlayStation 3, which is $100 more expensive. And both of those consoles had a right nub. But then the DS drove up onto the scene and was like, see this $300 handheld PSP with only one screen? Well, we're gonna drop the DS with two screens for only $130, with bangers such as New Super Mario Bros., Mario Kart DS, Animal Crossing, Pokemon, Metroid Prime Hunters. Oh my god, so many bangers! You know what, PSP, even though you failed, I'm still gonna give you this at least you tried badge.